2020 when it was COVID and like now, my hair is just like grown so much, armpit length to like below bra strap length, and I'm really, really happy with the growth that I've achieved. What's up curlies, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kiki, and if you are new here, I do all things curly hair tips, product reviews and styling. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through my natural hair journey and what it took for me to get my hair to the stage it is and the length it is at now, which is just below bra strap length, and where I started from the bottom. Let's get into it. When I was really young, I generally never really liked my hair. As soon as I started school, I got picked on quite a bit for having my hair in like braids and stuff like that, because I was the only mixed girl in my school and nobody had hair like me. So I didn't really have much in terms of people who looked like me to kind of reinforce that my hair was nice. So I generally just kept my hair in braids until I got to secondary school, and from that point I just went to the relaxer. I used to travel to another city and go to a black hairdresser's, and I would get my hair relaxed like every 10 weeks religiously. It was every 10 weeks I was getting it relaxed, getting my roots done and getting the new growth done. During those times, as you can probably guess, I was constantly wearing my hair straight. I was straightening it pretty much every day for school with hair straighteners, and if I didn't straighten it, I would actually curl it with curling tongs, which is wild to think that I have naturally curly hair and then I would straighten it to then curl it again just to have a different curl pattern. But yeah, I literally would put heat on my hair every day, if not every day, every other day, and that happened from about the age of 11 to about the age of 17, 18 when I left for uni. My hair never grew, it kind of always sat here. It never grew any longer because it would just grow and then it would just get really unhealthily damaged to the point where the hairdresser would just constantly cut off the new growth as it grew. So I never actually saw any sort of length on my hair. It was always to my shoulders. I always did wonder why my hair would never grow. I always wanted long hair since being really young, but I've never managed to achieve it. So then when I got to 18, I went off to uni, I moved to London, and during that time I was just really set on my hairdresser up in Leeds, and because of that I didn't trust anyone else to relax my hair. I'd seen so many people had their hair relaxed and it go wrong and they have like 2 inches of hair, and I just didn't want to risk that. I'd been going to my hairdresser for like literally 5-6 years of my life and I just didn't want to switch to a new one. So instead of that, I just used to straighten my hair like with a blow dryer and straighten it myself. And then it got to a point where I was just getting really sick of it, and at one point through uni I got really experimental with my hair for some reason. I dyed it red, I shaved the sides, and the turning point for me was when I shaved the side and I saw the new growth grow back. It kind of grew really curly and I was like, oh, I really like that. Like if my hair's like this all the way over, I'll be happy with my hair. Because up until that point, I didn't think I could have like curls that were really nice and defined. I just kind of thought my hair was really unmanageable and really thick and just hard to deal with. So when I saw that, it kind of changed my mind a little bit, and I thought, let me just kind of like grow this out and see how we get on. So again, I still kind of blew it out from time to time, but I would just, instead of getting it relaxed, I would just let the new growth grow through. And it got to a point where it kind of grew out quite a lot. So it was, I want to say about maybe here, like bob length. And when I transitioned for that amount of time and it grew to that length, I decided to just chop it off. So then I gradually worked my way through my hair. Obviously it wasn't that long anyway because I used to like wear extensions and clip-ins and wear weaves. Oh my God. Never again. But it was good for me to experiment. Like I kind of got it out of my system. So after that point, I chopped it off, and then I had this like cute little afro, and it was very short in my opinion, because for some reason my hair, like the shorter it is, the more shrinkage I get. My hair at the minute is quite long, and I noticed that the longer it gets, it just kind of like pulls my curls down. So when it was short, I thought my hair was like really tight, and it just wasn't. It was just due to the fact that it was short in length. So after I actually transitioned out, I began doing this like natural hair care journey. I believe it was like 2022 when I just left uni, and I was kind of like on this whole new thing. And I'd watched a few YouTube videos online of how like curly hair was meant to be done and maintained, and I was following at the time, I think she's called Near the Light now, and I watched a lot of hair videos and I just kind of copied what they were doing, and it generally did work well for me. I would wear a lot of twists and twists out just to like pull my hair out of that kind of like tight curly state. It would just give me a little bit more length, and I was happy, to be honest, with how it was going. I really liked my curls, I embraced them, and then it got to a stage where my hair got to a point and I was like, right, time to dye it. So again, I went to the dye. So in 2015, I got the itch and I decided to add some highlights into my hair. I'd always wanted blonde highlights. I always wanted to experiment with blonde hair because I'd seen it and it looked beautiful. And so we did it. We did some highlights. The highlights were cool, but of course your girl wanted even more highlights. So I went back and I got more highlights after the first round of highlights. This is where the issues started to creep in, because my hair was pretty light overall, and where I wasn't maintaining my hair for colour treated hair, I was kind of still treating it the same as it was when it was virgin and it wasn't dyed. So that was where issue number one came in, and I really started to see my hair change. It got a lot drier, my curls started to like be really stringy and frizzy, and it just didn't do well. Like on wash day, my hair would just feel awful. I remember combing it in the shower and it would just be like trying to comb through all of this blonde dry curl. So after that, I kind of had enough of that feeling. Although I did really like it at the time, I was like, right, I'm gonna dye it again. So instead of going all the way back natural, I went and did red, which again, it was okay. It was definitely a little bit healthier than what my hair was before, but it still had like the blonde underneath it. So it wasn't like my hair was fresh and it was like healthy and it was like medium porosity, what my hair is generally. It was definitely high porosity, and it was definitely struggling to kind of like grow without again cutting off the new growth. And I was still trying to grow my hair. Like I still had these goals of like having waist length hair, and it just wasn't meeting my expectations with dyeing it and trying to grow it long. Now, don't get me wrong, I could have probably maintained my hair and it would have been healthy if it was short, but obviously I didn't want that. I really wanted long hair. So then we go again, we transition out, we cut off the dead ends and the coloured ends as the hair is growing long, and we finally get to a place where I've got a decent length, and this is where I'm starting to see growth. Now, for me personally, I'm not talking for anyone else, I cannot see a way that coloured hair, and I mean severely like lightened hair, can be healthy for an extended period of time, and I'm talking years, and be nice and long. I don't think I've ever seen anyone with like healthy bleached curls that are like quay long, that are maybe like type 4 or like type 3 hair. And for me, talking from my experience, my hair is like 3C hair, and it is very thick and very dense, and it is susceptible to dryness a lot of the time. I do use a lot of deep cons like every week to maintain its moisture. So for me, it just didn't work at all. Like the dye was just like my worst enemy in terms of me like seeing length retention. So in terms of my hair journey, what I've seen work the best for me is transitioning out of colour. In 2020, I want to say about, is when I kind of restarted my whole Instagram and started doing the curly hair thing again. And between like 2020, when it was COVID, and like now, my hair is just like grown so much. It's gone from kind of like armpit length to like below bra strap length, and I'm really, really happy with the growth that I've achieved. If I did that from the start, I think I would have been at my goals by now, which is waist length, if I didn't obviously go through the whole dyeing again and transitioning out again. It's kind of like starting back at square one whenever you dye your hair. So for me, I could have got there quicker. I don't regret any of the dyeing experience because I always wanted to do it. I always wanted to go blonde. I always wanted to have red hair and experience colour and just you only have one life, so you might as well do it. And if it doesn't work out, your hair's gonna grow back anyway. So I'm really pleased I did it, but now I'm very appreciative of my hair being in its natural state, it being virgin, and it being as long as it is at the moment, because I love the length it is at the minute. If it was any longer, I would be ecstatically happy with anything longer than it is at the minute. And that's just where I am at the moment. The things that I do to keep my hair healthy at the minute is I always make sure I shampoo weekly. My scalp does get very irritated quickly, and if I don't shampoo on a weekly basis, I just can't handle that, especially with me working out in the gym and stuff like that. So I shampoo weekly. I deep condition weekly as well. It is a bit of a chore, but it does really benefit my hair if I keep on that regimen. I do tend to wear twists during the week, so like 2 weeks out of the month I will have my hair in a protective style. I try and avoid wash and goes because they're kind of like my enemy at the minute in terms of me retaining length, because as I said before, my hair is very thick and it gets knotty very easily, so wash and goes just don't help me with me having an active job as well. I'm always kind of moving around, jumping around, and there's a very physical job, so I do need my hair to kind of be like tucked away and out of the way and not be rubbing against each other, causing loads of those single strand knots that I always get. So that's my current regimen generally. If you're interested in seeing like any of my other routines that I do weekly, I will put them on the end of this video on the thumbnails. And drop me a comment, let me know how your natural hair journey has been, where you are at the minute, what your goals are, and I will see you in the next one.